Hi everyone, please bear with me. My camera decided that it wanted to go the wrong way round. And then there's something else appeared on the bottom. And I don't know what it is. I'm not going to touch anything just in case. Okay. Hi everyone, I think I'm live. I'm just going to double check everything and just make sure. Cold and wet Gateshead. Yeah, I think I'm getting there. Oh, look, you can see all my toot here. Oh, you know when you just go, Right, if you bear with me, I'm just muting myself. I forgot about that. So, let me just mute myself. And right, okay, I think I'm with you all. I think I am. Hello. Hi, Linda. Oh, it's when people have got different names, like the crafty card maker. I've got to sit there and work out who's who. Right, okay, I'm just gonna sort out my camera a little bit because it'll bug me if I don't. And isn't it different on YouTube to Facebook? It looks a lot clearer, or is that me? Oh, maybe it's me. Right, okay. Hello, everyone. I hope you're all well. I'm going to move that horrible pot of water because that's just bugging me. We've had a mixture of horribleness all day today, but hey ho. And I'm just going to crack on because I've never done a YouTube live before, so it's a little bit weird. I need to practice my camera, I think, and because when I look at my phone, I'm really close up, but when I look on my screen, it's not so much. Right, okay. So what have I got? I have got the collection is called A Bit on the Side, and the main reason it's called A Bit on the Side is there is a little bit on the side, and I couldn't think of not so clear for me. I couldn't think of a name. I am dreadful. You can ask Charmaine. I am absolutely awful when it. Well, that's too much. I was trying to zoom in, and then it's gone too much. Well, stop. Well, roll. That's better. Sorry. Um, I, I'm. I can't think of any names for things, so they are literally as they are. Sorry about that little bit of a head rush that just went on. So everything's called, something different, like a little bit on the side, today's bit, things had to be done that way. So I'm going to quickly go through everything. Sorry, it's now getting used to, I do apologize. I'm just trying to get used to looking on YouTube compared to looking on Facebook. You know where to look on Facebook. And I thought, right, we'll just go through absolutely everything that we've got. Right, so the first stamp set that I'm just showing you there, which is part of the new collection, is called Today's Bit. And it's a little bit of nodding back to the original ideas behind Shady Designs. So it's going back to pattern building, but creating a little bit more. And there was a lot of comments given to me about people using tags in card making, journaling, and various other things. And I wanted to say, tags can be used in lots of different ways. They can be part of our card making, but all the elements then become something else. So in the collection for this one, you will get a main element, and then you obviously get some smaller elements, which obviously do loads, and I'll go through those. You've got some sentiments. So today's your day. It's the little things that make big days. Find joy in every day. So I've done 2 boards, one that I stamped out in black and white and one that I've done in colour. And it was just that sometimes I think it's nice to see the colour. Sometimes the black and white can be a little bit stark. It's gone a bit blurred. It hasn't here, Val. I hope it doesn't do that. So we've got there. So what can you do? And I'm going to show you lots of different ways to do with it. So, I mean, you can use it as a tag, or you can cut part of it down. So this is just cutting part of it down and adding a sentiment. I've added no colour to these at the moment. I've stamped it twice, so now it doesn't look like a tag at all. So it looks completely different again. I've got other samples to show as well, so you can use it that way. You can then take the leaves that are in the set, and I love pattern building, as you know. So the leaves now, they come in 2 different sizes. I can create a background, but the way the leaves all join together, you can actually create a wreath. So you can now create a wreath and put your own flowers designs on top of it. Tracy, Sam made me some beautiful earrings. So you can now create a leaf with it. So, you know, so that completely changes. So if I'm going to bring in the graphics again. So those leaves there, that part there will join into where those 2 bits are here. That will join, and that then creates your actual wreath design. So you can actually do that. So let's put you there. I can take this part here, and it could be a flower, it could be a leaf, it could be whatever you wanted it to be. So I can use it just as is, or I can then suddenly change it and it becomes a flower. Change it again and stamp it 4 times and it becomes a butterfly. So you can now create something completely, you know, different with it. And that's just a small section of what things can do. So that one is called Today's Bit. As you see, I have original names for everything. This one is called A Bit on the Side. And let's turn it around the right way. And you get a main element there. This bit is separate. So you can join the 2 together and create a decorative tag, or you can use this completely separately. And I've got some examples to show you about how I've used it. She says, looking below, how I've used it completely differently. You then got another part here that could be a flower. This is all background building mandalas and things like that, and I can show you from that. This could be a butterfly, but it also could be a flower, because you can layer it up in lots of different ways. These can suddenly become a lot more. Stamp these together and they become flowers, they become patterns. This becomes a repeating pattern. You've then got some other elements here which could also be a flower. You know, you can use it in so many different ways. Now, the one thing I didn't do, but Anne-Marie did, and I'll show you her sample, I didn't think about stamping it twice, but she did, and then made a whole like mandala design. I just didn't think about that. I just went into making my own because that's what I had in my head. So there's the black version, black and white, and I just wanted to show that, you know, the different colors. Sometimes in the color it stands out just a little bit more. So, you know, so I'm going to put that to one side here. So as I was saying, so this, if I bring it in, so this part here can suddenly become another butterfly. If you only stamp this part once, it becomes a dragonfly. The same with the other part. Stamp it 3 times and it's suddenly become a flower. So it looks completely different again. I've taken the leaves here, can be leaves, whatever, but they can make border strips. So you can make your background. And you can change it. It does look like a bit like a peacock. You can change the background on it. I can take this here, and I wanted this one to be a starting point for a lot of my designs, but it too can be a background. So I can stamp it so it goes alongside each other and it becomes a repeating pattern and becomes a background, or stamp it slightly differently and it becomes another sort of background. So they look completely different, but they're actually the same stamp. So if, I mean, I've done mine in black and white, but if you did yours in coloured inks, it would look, you know, different again. Because obviously that's the way it looks. This sort of pattern then would work with the Moroccan tiles and the Shady Design dies, because obviously the two would link together. So we've got that there. Now, when I did this, I wanted it so it would create off the edge cards. So this is like a 5x5, 5.5x5. So I can cut this bit off and I could have a sentiment, but it becomes a shaped card. But the design could go that way round if you wanted it to be that way round. And that is one of the projects, but I'll explain that when we get to the project booklet. So this one here, I wanted it to be a builder, a worker stamp for me to make my patterns. So I've taken it and I can create this sort of pattern with it and build upon it and get bigger and bigger and bigger. Hi, Joe. Thank you. So you can create a different pattern from there. However, using this pattern, this one, and this one, just so those three, I can suddenly create a pattern like this. And then I, you know, this is for me. I can, you know, go away and play. And that's just using 3 stamps from that collection to create and build that pattern up really, really quickly. As I said, I've got lots of samples to show you, and I can show you where, you know, they all go. But that's just some quick ideas with the stamp set. And then finally, we've got this stamp set. And I have to say, when I did the stamps originally, I found this one was the one I kept going to all the time. And I don't know why. I don't know whether it's because it's got circles. And I've named that wrong. This is a bit on the side. And this one, sorry, is make your own bit. Oh, I'll get there with my names. But this is the one I went to the most. And I don't know why. It was just one that sang to me the most at the time. Anyhow, so I did a black and white. So on here, you've got a smaller, that can be a butterfly design. It can be a flower. You've got some extra flowers. You've got a leaf, but stamp that in different colors and it looks different again. You've got dangles, which can work up or work down. And you've got 2 sentiments. Being happy never goes out of style. And like a flower, you bring color to my world. And I wanted them that, and this is more of a tag, but it does so much more. Again, like I've done a black and white board, but I just think sometimes seeing them in the color helps see the patterns a little bit more. Black, your eyes focus on there. Now we've got the leaf here, and I wanted to take, let's move you guys over. So the leaf now, suddenly I can join just that one leaf and I can just stamp that multiple times and I can create myself a really quick background that all I need to do is put a sentiment or a flower on, or if I was art journaling, that would be it. So let's put you there. But the actual, this part here, I've got loads of different ideas with this one. I wanted it so it could be a background builder, all of them to be backgrounds, but this one in particular. So I can take it, let's move you so you're not seeing. I can take it and stamp this edge on this edge, and suddenly I've now got a background. Obviously I've stamped mine in black, but I'll show you one in different color ink and it takes on a different look. And then if I did it 4 times on a journal page, I've got my background done, finished. And that's what I wanted from them. It's a bit like the original. In the same breath, I've actually stamped it top and bottom, and it's created a completely different look just by changing the way I've actually stamped it. Or if I take a square card and then I just stamp it on each outside edge, it completely changes it again and the way it looks. And that's what I wanted from this one in particular, was that I could then bring in a lot of my journaling, and it would also work with the original Make a Mark, which has got a similar sort of leaf shape. And also it would work with, oh, I'm just thinking now, hanging around, and I'm looking at, you know, and some of the other earlier stamps. So we've got that one there. So we've then got these dangle bits. So I just wanted to show you some of the things that I have done, and I need to take away. So this part here, I've stamped 3 times and suddenly I've got the look of a flower, and it completely changes it again. and how you do it, you know, how you look at it. So taking the dangles, and so just taking these two here, you can then create a background that looks like that. So I've just stamped this, stamped there, and then I've gone over the top with a black and a grey, and that's now made a really quick background just from those two stamps alone. Hi Shaz. So you can do it that way. And then I'm just going to move some of my other little bits out of the way because I want to show those. So that was one of the things I wanted to do with it as well. Also, what I wanted for all of the flowers that are in all the collections, the stem parts are very, very loose. And the reason for it is the leaves then can tag on anywhere you want them to go, because there's no natural joining point and that everything is a simple line, if that makes sense. And that's, you know, what I wanted from there. And I'll go through some more of the other bits in a moment. So, and then we've got a stencil. Now, the stencil to me, as you know, a stencil's got to do so much. And I wanted this one because I wanted to be able to doodle in it. And I've got lots of examples that I can show you and we can go back over. But this is the stencil. It's just squares and boxes, but it really does do a lot. And I'll show you some of the ideas I've got. So they're the stamps, and that's the stencil in the collection. Now, as a thank you to everybody who's, you know, you've all been so supportive of me. And, you know, and I really wanted to say a thank you. And so what I've done is, if you get the whole collection, I'm going to show you those in a moment. I've actually done a booklet. I won't go show you all the step by step, but just to show you. So you will get with everything a step-by-step project booklet, and it will make these 3 cards. So it'll show you how to make that card from start to finish, what stamps you need, and how to lay it out. It will show you how to make that card from start to finish, how everything got laid out, you know, and the layering on top of it. And it will then show you finally how to make that card, how, you know, how to layer it all up, again, step by step, and I'll show you quickly. But just to give you an example, that is one of the step by steps. But then if you change it and you get used to making it, you could suddenly change it by the colors, and you can get a little bit braver and make it look completely different, even though it's a similar sort of idea. So the project booklet shows you how to make those 3 cards. And I'll just give you a quick flick through. So it will actually show you it will list the main items I'm using. There are photographs showing each step by step, numbered for each one, even down to where to put everything, what if I've used 3D foam on it or not. So again, take this card, the supplies I've used, where to stamp on your card, how to colour it, what to cut away. Like I said to you, I thought this is a cutaway card. All the different extra colouring I've done, how to take this stamp here, cut it away to make a flower with it, and then how to layer it up. And then finally, this card here, where to stamp, how big card you need, what colours I've used, additional stamping and doodling, how to layer up the tags on top of each other, how I've joined the ribbon, threaded the tags. So it's a project booklet, like I said, from start to finish, with lots and lots of different photographs. Kay, it wasn't meant to be idiot proof, but I write for magazines, and I know we're asked to like condense a card in like 2 seconds flat, and there's lots of stages. So that is my thank you, and that to you all. Obviously you won't get the cards, they're mine, sorry, but you will get the booklet to keep and do whatever you want to do with it. Now I'm going to put this safely before I lose it. Right, let's put you back down here. Excuse me. Now the other thing, and you can blame Kay for this, okay, Kay messaged me one night and said, oh, do you know what would be really, really nice? If you could do a toppers kit for us all. And I went, oh, really? Okay. So I've cut into mine, sorry. So this is bits of it. So what this kit is you will get 9 sheets on A4 of different toppers designs, and they're all using all the stamps from the collection. So they can be used independently or use them as a starting point for making your cards. So this is a topper, but this is taking one of the stamps, stamping it 4 times, another one of the stamps, stamping it 5 times and adding a sentiment. And they're all in different sizes. So you'll get a mix that will look like tags. You'll get ones that show you how I've used the different tags, how I've layered it up with some of the different flowers. They're all pre-colored. As I said, they're all different sizes. They could be square. They show you where you could add different elements on as well. So I'm just going to move these around. I've got bits everywhere. So like this one here, I put some, so I created a mandala, and they're all from my colouring that you can see from there. Different ideas, and these are all on 300 GSM cream card. You know, I've made, as I said, lots of different ways of using it. Smaller versions, bigger versions, circles, some with backing papers. So this would fit DLs, circles, and they're all can be used, like I said, independently, or you could use them as a reference. Creating, you know, different backgrounds. I'm going to be doing that as a demo, which I'll show you tomorrow. Using part of the stamp to create backgrounds. So these would fit on A5. Hi, Mum. Hi, Mandy. So these now A5. So this is an A5, but there's still enough space for you to bring in any of your own sentiment stamps or anything else you want to add on top of it. We've then got, these would make A6. So we've got 2 smaller ones. And again, so some of them are repeated, but in different styles. I love a circle, as you all know. So just showing you just by using a circle here and stamping, you know, got 2 or 3 here. We've got smaller elements to add on. And then, so they're the toppers, and you get 9 sheets of those. And I think so, all in all, there's something like 46 different elements within the toppers. Yeah, down, easy to cut out, definitely, Kay. And then what I wanted to do was I wanted to create some really subtle backgrounds, not in your face backgrounds, but really subtle backgrounds to go with either adding the toppers on. So say, for example, not that one, if I cut this one out here and cut round it, it could technically go onto that background there, and that's a DL card. You know, so it changes all to, you know, completely how it works. So you get 3 different panels. So these would be your, like, your DL cards, and there's 6 designs, and you're going to get 2 of them. So some of them bring in most of the stamp elements that you can see. So I've brought in the sentiments. So none of these backing I made these backing papers just for this kit, and created them. So these haven't been seen. Ever thought of making a career out of this? Well, you know, Mandy, when I next see you. So you've got, so these now could make your DL background. So you'll get, so there's 6 designs, and you'll get 2 loaves. So that's 12 of those. And then we go on to the papers. So you're going to get the papers, and you'll get 2 of each design. So these now are slightly smaller than A5, so you can do matte and layers, but you can use these as starting points to go with all the different sizes there. And we've got, I've actually used the stencil on this one, and I've ghosted, so everything does go together. So even if you had the stamps and stencils, you could still work on top of these. We've then got this one here, and like I said, I've gone for a really, this one is quite a very subtle, it's very subtle blues, soft, well, I don't want to say purples, but there is a hint of it there. But it's got the stamps in the background, so you can actually use this to ink on, and, you know, do your starting point again. So I didn't want them to be bold and bright. I wanted them to be able that you could stamp on them, and you start your different creative journey. These ones is a little bit bolder because I love the colours. So this is bringing in the stamps. This is also bringing in previous stamps ranges to work alongside them, just to show that they all work as well with each other. And then back to, so this is the repeat. So you'll get, all in all, 10 designs this size, and you'll get 2 of those, and you'll get 6 designs these sides, and you'll get 2 of those. So it's like 12 of those and 20 of those all in all. And then, as I said before, the toppers, you get 9 sheets of the pre-coloured toppers that go with it all. So Right, I'm just going to tidy up and then I can go back to show you some of the ideas that I had with it. I just put that together neatly before I lose everything. Right, you're going down there. Right, so I wanted to try different things with it. Now, one of the things I wanted from, I'm going back to, I'm rifling at the side here, and I will find what I'm looking for in a minute. Right, so if I look at that stamp set there, and that one is Make Your Own Bit. Now, I wanted this to be able to make me journaling cards, backgrounds. So just to give you an idea, I've taken this and I've stamped it and I reversed it round and I've added some of the other stamps to it. And I've just watercolored the background so I can cut them out and create little panels. Alternatively, I could take the whole lot, repeat stamp it, and I could, create a background on my art journals very quickly. And then all I've done is I've just stamped on some of the other stamps just to add a little bit of extra detail with that. And that's what I wanted from there. I wanted to be able to create panels that I could do journaling and other things with. And this, I wanted it to be backgrounds. So for example, this one here, I've did some embossing, but I knocked back the embossing powders and then created it so I could create a quick panel like this, or take it one step further and it's the same design, but I could then create for me something like this going forward. Okay, that's a bit more wackier, but that's how, I like different things, and that's some of the different ways I wanted to use it. Right, I'm going to put the stamps back roughly where they come from so I know we'll do that. So taking that into there, so what else did I do? Right, I wanted the stencil. I'm just grabbing some bits now just to share with you, and then I want to show you some other bits. So the stencil for me had to do a lot of bits and pieces. So the shapes are really easy to stencil and cut out. They're not small pieces. So I've stenciled in the background. I've then actually stenciled again, and I've cut these out and I've actually overlaid them where I've done my stenciling. And I wanted it to be, that you could use them that way. But in the same breath, I wanted to be able to do something like that with them. So I could actually then draw around them and doodle in them and build it up. This design will be coming out next week, and it is a step-by-step downloadable that I'm doing for absolutely everybody, and it combines a lot of the different elements. So I wanted the stencil to be able to do that. In the same breath, similar design, I wanted the stencil that I could draw through and create a whole background really, really quickly with a micron pen. And I really wanted it to, to do lots of different things that way. I won't show you everything I've done because I want to keep some of it a surprise. So I'm putting things back now as I come to them. So what else have I done? Right, so talking about pattern building, and I wanted to take a lot of the elements and I wanted to do some pattern building. So where I took, let's grab these two. So this, these were my initial thoughts when I, started building these up and using them. And so I've got that design there, and then I've got, that design there, and they, that's just using one stamp and repeating it, and that's using 3. However, then I thought, right, okay, actually show people what you can do. So doing the same thing, that now creates this pattern, and I've used 1 stamp, 2 stamps, 3, 4 stamps only, and it creates that sort of effect. A bit on the side. I haven't got the energy for a bit on the side, Mandy. Whew. So I wanted it to be, you do that way, but then you could do half a panel as well and change it up a little bit by putting the smaller stamps in, and it looks completely different, even though it's the same layout. But you can change it by changing the different heads, so it again looks completely different. So we've got that, but then this is something I'm playing with. Then I've taken it, and this is 11 by 11 journal, and I've stamped in white, and I've used, I'm just counting, 1, 2, 3, 4. That is 4 stamps that has created the whole of that 11 by 11 journal page. So I love doing this. I know Where do I find? I don't know, Tracy. What these ones I've coloured in with pencil. Okay, I've coloured those in with pencil. That one is watercolour. That is my watercolour pencils. That one is normal pencil. So then I've got this one here, which I'm going to colour in between the shows because I thought it gives me something to do. But 4 stamps and just repeat patterning. But then taking it from there. So that's an 11 by 11. I thought, well, can I get any bigger? And this now is an A3 piece. And I've done this one as an A3. So you can see the, if I lift it up, you can see the pattern here. This is done with John Lockwood's Pearly Inks. I was testing them out, but that's another blog post to come. So now this is A3, and what I want to do is cut away here and have a photograph. Steve and I couldn't make up our mind about what photograph we put in. Watch this space, because we thought about 5 different ideas so far. So it's the same pattern, change the colours of the inks, and it completely looks different again. So, you know, from, where's the black and white? So that is this pattern here. Stamping it in colour looks completely different to black and white. So you can change the drama of a piece by doing, you know, doing something a little bit different with it all. And then I've just added some extra frou-frou because that's what you do. Right, let's move you guys out of the way. So, oh, I've got to put all this back in a minute. But then going on from, so that was using a bit more. So if I take this stamp, the next stamp set, I think it is, I'm just having a sneaky peek next door to see, is it? Where is it? Where's the page? Sorry, I'm now looking for where the page is. Aha, it is that one. Right, so using the make your own bit stamp again. So this is still the same stamp set that I created those other patterns. I've then, using those journaling blocks, like I said to you that I wanted to create, I've done this. So this is now on a my 11 by 11 black journal, and these are like the journaling pieces I wanted to create, and I can then add all the different dangles on where the lines are. I can add my own little bits of doodling. I've stamped, and you know, it's just taking one stamp, stamping it one way, reversing it the other, very, very quickly. So this was a really quick page that I made in an evening sort of thing. So that is just from literally one stamp set, all the different ideas that I wanted to come up with. So I'm just going to move you guys out of the way. So, then I needed to go and do something else as well. So, right, these are something else. And I wanted to be able to do the stamp sets to do a lot more. These are, put you guys there for tomorrow. So this one here is obviously my dog. And I've taken all 3 of the stamps and created a really quick background. Okay, it's very dark and it's brown because obviously he lived in the mud. But this now is like an art journal page come scrapbook page, and that little bit I was talking about has become my journaling block, so I can use it that way. It's brought in other stencils from previous collections as well to create all the different elements, and then I've just stamped and cut it out, some of the other elements, you know, to create the pages with it. So that then would, you know, have made me think. Then going on, this is you doing the art journaling again, and this time I've for this art journal page I've used the I'm going to have to remember all the names. You see, to me, I get to the stage where I go, oh, it's that one, and I forget all the names. I'm going to have to write the names. This one is today's bit. So I've stamped today's bit, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've brought in from the floral frames. And then all I've done is I've masked off I just drew some hearts, cut them out and masked them all up and created a really quick art journal background. I haven't thought of the words I want to use yet. I'll get to that one day. But, you know, so you can actually, and that was what I wanted. I brought the stencil in the background here, as you can see, and I've just coloured it out to create different blocks with the actual stencil as well. So it can look completely different. And then taking, so that's now using them all. So then taking it, I took the stamp set and I've just repeat patterned, as you can see here, on an A4 piece of paper. And I literally just repeat patterned it, and it's now, so I stamped it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times, and it completely filled an A4 piece of card. But then that gives me an art journal page then that will end up looking like this, which is exactly the same repeat patterns. And then all I've done is masked out some circles, added a little bit of colour and some extra of the other stamped elements to match in. Again, I have to live with a page for a while before I can think of sentiments or whatever I want to use with them. So this is, like I said, this is like going back to the original Shady, where everything had to do with card making, my art journaling, scrapbooking type things, you know, a little bit of absolutely everything. So I'm just going to put all these back here, and let's put the dog away. We'll put you down here. Oh, we're getting there. Right, so talking about the card toppers, I'm into, oh, thank you, Catherine, that's lovely. Oh, right, so this is going to be one of my demos I'm going to show you how to do. So this is one of the toppers you get from the collection, and it's taking in this tag here. So what we're going to do is, I'm using the topper as a way of what I could stamp and how to layer it up, and different ideas I can get from it. So I've taken the stamp, so then that means this obviously isn't finished. I can then very quickly create, just stamp the stamp, colour it, and create a really quick background. Now the background's been made using the stencil, but this is taking inspiration from the topper, and we'll go, you know, go through all of that. And then, I mean, I've done lots of bits and pieces. So where this blank is here is where you'd put your sentiment, and then you'd build it up with your other elements. As I said, we're going to, this is one of the demos that I do want to show, you know. So I've got that flower there, so I can now, for example, put that flower there, and it's how we can actually do that together. So the toppers, as well as being used independently, are a great resource if you don't know how to do your layering of stamping, to make it look like you've done a lot but you haven't, because that's only stamped once, but it looks more complicated than it actually is. Jeanette, my blog is, if you look up Lou Sims, I'll put a link in if I can find my blog. If you give me 2 seconds. View blog. I always forget that it's got .com now on it. There we go. So that's just using one of the toppers. So this stamp, this is just that one stamp. And that's what I wanted from this set. It's a bit like going back to the original, that one design can make it look like you've stamped oodles and oodles and oodles of layering, but it's not. It's really quick and simple to do. So that is using like one of the toppers. So look at me being really good and putting all my prep back in bags. Now, taking another idea, look, I'm getting all my prep bags out. Again, this is one of the toppers, and it is using the stamp set here. So it's taken this design here. Oh, you don't need that. It's then taken the daisy elements from there. It's added in a few of the leaves, and then it's taken this leaf branch here. So it's taken in a mixture of different things, and we've got the sentiment. So from that, we're going to do a demo to show that we can take that topper and we can then quickly create our own background. And that is just stamping that main focal stamp once, and then I've added in a little bit of extra stamping with the green. All the sentiments have been designed that they will fit inside each of the tag stamp shapes. So you can use them that way, or you can mat and layer them up. So we're going to have that to show how we can do that and use the toppers as our inspiration to do everything. So there's me putting everything. Just put everything back in there. Oh, right. So I'm just going to quickly show a few samples, and then if anybody's got any questions, you know, please shout, as it were. So, as I was saying, Anne-Marie came up with the idea, and I never thought about it, of masking. So if I go back to, where is it? There. So where I've got this, I wanted this to do this on the side of pages and to quickly fill up backgrounds for me, whereas Anne-Marie's taken it and and done it twice and made a whole shape out of it, and then added this element on top, which I think is cool. I love these in the corner as well, and I never even thought about doing that. So then creating quick ideas. So this is really quick ideas stamping. It's doing the dangles. It's creating a dragonfly from this stamp here. So we've created a dragonfly here, and just the sentiment. So really, really quickly done. This one is doing exact thing, but this time I've actually cut out the tag and layered it up to create a 3D pattern. But where I was saying before, where I showed you the background stamped in black, stamping them now in green, they become, you don't notice them hardly at all, you know, when it comes to actually using them this way, and then just adding in a few other of the stamped elements. I'm going to put you guys there. So, oh, right. Alison has done some repeat stamping. So here is that daisy image going round in a circle with the sentiment in the middle. And I think that is just, hi, Sarah. I think that is just so cool. But then the other element that I use to create my repeating pattern, Alison's again done it, but stamped it so it's a little bit more random, and it makes a really quick background, you know, that way. I've got here, who's this from? Sheila. So Sheila's taken the tag die and then stamped all her elements on top. And again, it changes. And then she's done like ghosting with the stencil in the background. Hazel Eaton made some lovely samples for me as well. And she's created hers on craft and used this bit here to be an accent piece, and then repeat stamped that leaf over and over again in black, but it's on white here. So it can suddenly take on a completely different drama from same stamp, but completely looks different depending on how you stamp it and the colours that you use. So it allows you to be you, which is what I really wanted from Shady. This one from Sheila is just, she stamped out this part here and then just cut it out. But then she's used all the dangles and brought in and her own handwriting and brought in her own little bits of doodling to create a card that way. Creating the same one, but stamping it once upside down and once the other way, and then adding in like that butterfly image suddenly looks completely different again, done in greys and pinks. So it looks completely different again. This one from Claire Pearson is just stamping it, and she's just cut it out and then put it on the stencil background, and that is it. And it looks so cool. It looks so much more complicated than it actually is. And I think it's the colours stand out. But then you can take this one here and just by stamping it, and then I'm assuming it's something like Lost Shadow in the background, very subtly with the stencil, and just colouring as is and adding this part here on, you've got a really quick, beautiful card. And it works differently again. I love this idea by Claire, where she's taken that that image, and she's done the same as Anne-Marie and done the reverse, but then she's got the dangles coming down to make it look like a dream catcher. And I think that is such a beautiful, cool idea. Again, same stamp, but now the other part has been joined to it, but only half of it, and we've got these parts on here, and it looks completely different again with the stencil in the background. Taking this, which one is it? Taking this stamp here, I think this is Sam, and Sam's turned it into flowers. So again, it looks like tulips. It looks completely different again. Layering up by Claire, you know, layering up all the elements. Again, taking the smaller element, these two elements here, Sam has then created different shaped flowers, but then put them on a different sort of tag as well. So it's all about showing tags don't have to be tagged. You know, tags work on a card. And I know for a lot of people, tags are, ooh, as it were. And then Brian's done this, taking the same stamp. I've got so many samples to show you, but embossing on white on an inky background or a Brushos background, it looks like that. And combining one of the previous sentiments. And Sheila's then made butterflies and brought in extra stamping as well to create a really quick panel in the background there. And that is just a small snapshot of some of the ideas. I've got 2 big bags full of different ideas there. So that, you know, just to give you a little idea of what's involved in the collection. Also, you know, you're going to have the project booklet as well, and the stencil, and then there's the topper kit. So it was just, you know, I thought, why not? Why not? Let's do something a little bit different. They're obvious what they are, but then they also can do so much more as well. Well, I hope that makes sense, any road. So I'm going to love you and leave you because I've got to be up ridiculously early tomorrow, as I have to be at the studio by 6 at the latest. But thank you ever so much for your time and your company. And, you know, if you've got any questions, please drop me a comment, and I'll try and help as much as I can. There is lots more inspiration coming out using the collection and combining it with other things as well. So don't worry there. And I'll see you bright and early at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. I probably won't be in my PJs. I will get dressed. Take care, everyone, and thank you ever so much. See you all soon. Bye.